Thank you for joining the Wellness and Wahala podcast. So everyone, this is your girl, Dr. Tomi, better known as Ama Abba. And today we have a very special guest in the house. And we are launching International Women's Day with this great hero, Anniedi. And she is the CEO and founder of Edam Sparks. She is a chief swagger officer. She has a lot of swagger. She has also a women's leader and a speaker and a well-being and career strategist. So thank you so much for being our special guest today. How are you?
Thank you so much, Tomi. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. So please let them know who you be. Give us a great overview of your background.
I was wondering how exactly to put into words, right?
Hey.
I'm thinking to myself, I said, the road to swagger was paved with Wahala.
Hey!
It was as if Wahala was my middle name.
It's okay. There's always thunder. There's always a storm before the rainbow.
Exactly. So I often say, I haven't always had so much swagger. I was probably at the height of my career as a corporate executive in health and wellness. And I found myself, focused so much on taking care of the well-being of others and had been successful in my career, but realized that I had ultimately bankrupted my own health, right? So here I am, I'm hitting burnout. And I noticed that my hair has started falling out in clumps. It's just by the handful, My heart, I'm experiencing these heart palpitations at night, keeping me up late at night. And I'm having this terrible knee pain. And so, it's just really slowing down. It's slowing down my busy lifestyle. And, but you just keep pushing through, you keep powering through until one day I walked past a mirror and I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the mirror, and I realized that I had lost the sparkle in my eyes,
Yes.
So it's like the light is on, but nobody's home. And it's like, if you've ever been through anything like grief or trauma or any type of loss, you know how hard it can be to get through to the other end of that and remember what lights you up again, right?
Yeah.
But as women, we're just taught to soldier on. And so finally, I get laid off from my dream job, right? And I'm at a crossroads.
Hey.
I can choose to go left or go right. Do I continue down the path of grinding and hustling myself until, they say killing it at work, but killing myself softly? Or do I choose to go right and really figure out, how do I transform my own health? How do I come back to life again, right? And so I decided to go right. I said, let me take everything that I learned in these 20 years of health and wellness, of pouring into others, and let me experiment by pouring into myself. So I really transformed my health, lost 50 pounds, regained the sparkle in my eyes, and I launched my dream company, which is Edam Spark, the wellness community for rockstar executives. And we empower leading women to reclaim their health, spark their joy, and rock their careers. So that is a little bit about my journey. And I'm so thrilled to be able to share with you today, especially in celebration of International Women's Day.
Oh my goodness. You see, y'all, that's why I said she's one of our heroes. Okay. She is a chief swagger hero. Okay. Now it's so good how you just gave that great overview, because really a lot of us have been through traumas. We've been through negative situations or wahalas, and you turn a negative into a positive. You said, okay, if I continue these same patterns, and you said a key thing, like you had the gifting of helping lift others up, but in the detriment of forgetting about ourselves, especially in the African community and the diaspora community and the Black community. That is so common.
Exactly.
So can you tell us what were the key steps you took in your wellness journey to get back on track, and turn right, as you said, and not go left?
Yes. So I have basically a 3-step process that I guide folks through. I call it mind, body, swagger. Okay, so everyone comes because they want the swagger, but you have to go through mind and body to get there, right? So it's all about, right, leveling up your mindset. So a lot of us are living in old paradigms that no longer serve us. They no longer serve our needs, right? Paradigms in which we are taught to sacrifice our own health for our ambitions, right? Paradigms in which we are taught that we should not center our own well-being, right? Put wellness at the center of our work and life. And so sometimes we've got to really be able to flip the script on the old narratives that we've been taught, right? To create new paradigms in which we're able to be the heroine of our own story. Okay. So when I work with clients around leveling up their mindset, it is really about creating a compelling vision for the future, really understanding what needs to change from where you sit today to where you want to get to in the future, and reimagining the path going forward. I know we're sitting now in a time of great disruption, right? With the pandemic, economic downturn, and all these ongoing social justice issues. This is a moment for us to say, what part of our world was not serving us? What part do we want to create in the future that will create more inclusive opportunities for everyone to shine? So that leveling up the mindset piece is incredibly impactful. The second piece is embodying your goals, right? So I often say a goal without a wish is simply a plan. So once you have a vision of your best life, not someone else's, right? Someone else's dream job or dream life, it's your best life. How do you actually bring that to life? What are you choreographing the action steps for that will set the stage for your success? So that's all about action planning. And then the rocking your unique swagger, that's the fun part. That is, you know this, Tommy, when you go to a Nigerian wedding, everyone
I miss them all. During the pandemic, spray me the money.
You're missing it, but everyone gets the same fabric, but no two women show up in that wedding wearing the same.
Actually, custom made.
It's tailor made, right? It fits your curves exactly, and so that is what we talk about when we say rocking your unique swagger. It's your gifts, your skills, your talents, your unique identity. It is all about leading in a way that is aligned to your authentic self, right? So it's all about sort of showing that flair. So that's really the first few steps that I would recommend for all women who are looking to level up their swagger game.
Oh my goodness. You guys, you hear that? She gave you 3 swagger steps, okay? Mind, body, and to get your swagger back. And it's key, because I believe, like, a lot of the battles that we face, it's not just the external ones. It starts internally, at the mindset, the shifting of the mindset. And I love this year's 2021 theme for International Women's Day. They have this hashtag challenge called Choose a Challenge, which highlights the importance of challenging bias and misconceptions of interest and creating a more inclusive and gender equal world. Like you said that, and for you to be able to choose, the journey to put your back right, put your life back on track and gain that sparkle, you really need to target, transforming your mind and then your body, and then you can get that sparkle back. So what are, can you give us some examples of some of the Wahala challenges that some of your clients may have faced or you have faced, and some of the services that you provide, like consultations? I know you do virtual conference sessions. What are the different tools? Because some of us, we can't do it on our own. We need somebody like you, a chief swagger officer, to help us reach that goal. You know what I'm saying? And keep us accountable. So how can you do
completely
that?
Hear you. So I typically serve C-suite executives, entrepreneurs, and women in leadership, right, who are tackling some of the most pressing matters of our time. You touched on this theme of choose to challenge, right? All about challenging bias and creating a more inclusive and gender equal world. And what I found early on in my work is I was doing one-on-one executive coaching, and many of my clients were saying, help us take care of ourselves and our people, right? So when we look at the fact that in the month of December alone, in the US economy, 140,000 jobs were lost, all of them held by women, right? Think about the risk that we have to, having more inclusive workplaces. So a lot of organizations are saying, how do we tackle this problem? McKinsey just did a study, right? And they found that senior women, right, working parents, women of
single moms.
Yeah, we're at
Right.
really high risk to this sort of leaving the workplace. And so when we think about creating spaces to challenge bias and mitigate some of that, it really starts with at the top, right? Starts at the top. And so I work with clients through one-on-one executive coaching, through organizational consulting, as well as workshops, virtual summits, and speaking events. I do a lot of keynote speaking to help clients really tackle some of these issues. So really, when you're starting your wellness journey, or when you're starting your journey to flourishing as an organization, it starts with that strategic vision, right? That I talked about in leveling up the mindset. Who do we want to be when we grow up, right? I often joke and I say, as a Nigerian, we love titles. Right? You say Chief Swagger Officer, you're probably scratching your head saying, what is that? But for years, right, I was obsessed with titles, and I, in many ways before the layoff, really hid behind a title, a prestigious firm, right? Like, really didn't really think about who did I want to be as a woman and emerge. And so when you're thinking about this from an executive coaching perspective, it's really giving yourself permission to have a more expansive vision for your life, to go from dream job to dream life. And when you're thinking about this from an organizational perspective, it's not just diversity for diversity's sake, right? I love to do this work because how do we tie those diversity and inclusion initiatives to actual business strategy? There's so much out there that says that more diverse teams, more diverse leadership teams have a greater ROI. They perform better than their peers. And so really thinking about aligning the unique gifts and talents of an organization to their business strategy and driving growth and innovation in the market, that is where the sparkle comes, right? And that the swagger comes from an authentic leadership perspective, both for the individual and for the organization.
Whew. That is a lot, girl. And that's really how not only an organization gets their returns, on their investments, their ROI, but even us. Like, we need to be able to invest in ourselves. So, and I'm so happy that, you created Eden Smart community to help transform the mind, the body, and ignite the sparkle in the eyes that all of us really, have deep down inside. But really, it takes a lot of wahala and trauma that has really dim our shine, and our swagger. So, I wanted to have you talk about, do you have any upcoming programs that are coming up? How can people reach you? That Eden Spark is really something that I think a lot of us need, especially during this pandemic period, where a lot of us are going through a lot of, wahala, emotional and mental breakdown. A lot of us in the African community, we say suffering and smiling. We be fronting like everything is okay, and it'll be okay. So tell us, what can people look forward to? How can people contact you?
Yes. Okay. So for upcoming programs, and this is hot off the press.
Hey! Exclusive.
We're going to be rolling out a program called Swagger School. Okay, Swagger School is where you get your swagger back, because, and this came directly from a lot of the feedback that I was hearing from clients who were dealing with burnout. Right, they were dealing with burnout. They were dealing with intense stress, not just from the pandemic, but a lot of the weight that they were carrying on their shoulders in terms of carrying the burdens of the world. Right, and so really thinking through how do we lessen some of that load? How do we create a space for them to really be able to have a little bit more fun and, find some inspiration? And so there are really 5 pillars to our Swagger School program. The first is success. So it's all about redefining success on your own terms. So getting the inspiration to say, how do I let go of some of those shoulds, right? The expectations that others have for me and for my life, right? And how do I start to define it in a way that matters most to me, measure what matters most to me? The second piece is all about sisterhood. So I know we're celebrating International Women's Day, and I think it's important. When I founded Eden Spark, I wanted to elevate women's voices, right? I wanted to have a space for them to be able to shine and showcase their gifts and talents. And so really surrounding yourself with ambitious sisters really lets you know what's possible. It creates a compelling vision for the future, and it allows you to really get the support, the social support you need to achieve your goals. The third pillar of our Swagger School program is all about self-care. So this is all about prioritizing your health, prioritizing your wellness, and giving yourself permission to put yourself on your own agenda. This one is huge for women, who are used to defining our worth and our value in relation to others and our service to others, right? And this is an opportunity for us to say, how can I take care of myself, right? So that we're playing the long game, not the short game. And then the fourth pillar is sparkle. So this is about, what lights you up, right? Your meaningful purpose in life, your mental well-being, right? What really makes you shine from the inside out. So that sparkle is really powerful in terms of helping women really get that pep in their step again. And then finally, style. Okay. We have to come correct. We have to come
style.
It's not complete without style, right?
In my custom Asoebi dress.
Yes. So this is the piece where we define your signature swagger, right? So I work with so many women who are, starting their own businesses, they're elevating their careers, and they want to make sure that their personal brand and their authentic leadership style is showcasing them in that light. And so we want to be able to connect them to professional stylists and tools for them to really pump up the volume on their swagger. So I'm really excited for folks to join us for our upcoming Swagger School events. You can learn more by following us on Instagram at EDEMSpark. That's IDEM Spark at EDEMSpark. And that's where you'll learn about upcoming events. You can also visit our website at edemsparklife.com. That's IDEMSparklife.com. IDEMSparklife.com.
Thank you all. You see, we have it fresh off the press on you all. For the Swagger School, the 5S pillars, you do not want to miss it. This is, really a strategic time where if you want to really have the tools to overcome a lot of the wahalas in your life and get your sparkle back, this is the time to do it. So thank you so much for really giving us, great tips and something to look forward to right now for the future. So I'm so happy that you're launching this Swagger School, and I'm very happy and honored to have you on this Wellness and Wahala show. So do you have any last words for our guests in the audience?
Of course. So I always like to share a mantra. It's our EDEMSpark mantra, which is life is a song, your body is your instrument, and it's time to play it like no one's watching. And I share that one because, as a child of immigrants, we often think about the expectations that our parents have. We are our parents' wildest dreams. And when we're charting our path, right, sometimes it's scary when you are the first or the only one, right? Whether you're the first to go to college in your family, or you're the first to become a corporate executive, or you're the only woman on a team, right? Or I just recently, we had celebrated the Super Bowl, and I was so excited because a photographer that's part of my dream team, she was really instrumental in our launch. She was featured in the Super Bowl commercial. Nice. And so she was sharing this story about how growing up, she didn't see what she wanted to be, right? She didn't see it. And so it's so impactful when we think about representation, right? Sometimes we have to have imagination. We have to say, what do we really desire in our heart? What will we do, right? How will we play full out to the fullest extent, and going after our dreams and making bold moves if we weren't worried about what other people's expectations were, right? So it's really an invitation. When we say life is a song, your body is your instrument, play it like no one's watching. It is an invitation for women to rise and shine, right? With their fullest expression of themselves. So I'm so thrilled to be able to share this conversation with you today, Tomi, and a little bit of inspiration for those who are on their climb. They're trying to get over their own wahala, right? And give them a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of swagger, right? So that they can continue on their journey. There has never been a more pressing time as this for women in leadership. And I'm so excited to be able to continue to create trails, right? Paved trails so that others can blaze them right alongside me.
Hey, you see the trailblazer. So thank you. I told y'all, look, we got a hero, she-ro, a swagger queen. So today I would like to leave you with the African proverb of the week that says, when you educate a man, you educate an individual. But when you educate a woman, you educate a generation. So I believe that, what you're doing is really, bringing generations of women. You're touching women, their children, their children's children, will be able to get their sparkle back. This is generational blessings that are coming through Edom Spark. So thank you so much. It was a great honor. And, thank you for letting us feature you for International Women's Day. You are our true woman hero.
I want to thank you so much, Tomi, for the opportunity. Because you shared that proverb, when I launched Edom Spark, I launched it in honor of my mom's legacy. I remember starting my career really in response to the fact that she had been diagnosed with cancer my senior year in college. And so after losing her, it was really what inspired me to blaze the trail in terms of transforming a broken health system. And so to be able to come full circle, to be able to pay honor to her legacy, and then also to be able to transform my own health and well-being, right? What a powerful moment to be able to, as you said, impact generations to come. So I really thank you for sharing that proverb, because it really meant a lot to me.
Thank you. I was trying to find a unique proverb that really spoke to me, and just your journey and bringing our sparkle back, and homage, and honor to your mom, a true queen who has raised another queen, and also I know your sister who was another queen. So that's why I said generational sparkles of swagger that has been ignited, by your mom, who was the trailblazer and showed you the way. And now thank you for providing platforms and the swagger school that's coming up, so that we will be able to have the tools, to turn our generations and our daughters, to be able to get their sparkle back and get rid of all the wahalas that are surrounding us, especially during this pandemic time. So thank you.
Thank you, Tomi. Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I wish you all no wahala this season. Bless up.